Alright, hi, my name is Moyers, graduating class of 2012. Last year, I created a magazine for my 40-hour project. It was 40 pages long and took well over 100 hours. This year, I was crazy enough to want to try it again. A lot of people encouraged me to do it again, and I wanted to do it because I enjoy doing it. But more than that, it's part of my calling. I'm going off to SCAD next year because I want to work towards becoming a magazine editor eventually. It'll take me time working my way up, but I intend to create a magazine eventually that's a Christian publication but doesn't speak Christianese. A lot of Christian magazines today, they communicate ideas that come from the gospel and truth, but they communicate it in a way that so many people view them as in this one little box, and they don't want to pick it up and read it themselves. They're like, okay, well that's just a Christian magazine, I'm not interested in that. But if we had a Christian magazine, or one run by Christians, which communicated truth in a, I don't want to say a secular way, but in something that could be understood by people from that world, then I think that we would find a better way to communicate the truth to everyone out there. Although the project relates to my calling, I found that I couldn't relate it to Antiquity, and this was a problem I had to deal with starting back in September. I worried about it and thought about ways to fix it, and eventually gave up and decided to just jump into making the magazine like I normally would, and hope that eventually God would help me find a way to solve the problem. And He did. Around mid-November, I kind of gave up, and I decided, all right, I'm just going to start it and do it. And within a month and a half, God had given me an answer. Dr. Grant gave a lecture, and he spoke about what's called mimesis, which is the study of observation and mimicry by the Greeks. In other words, it's the way they memorize things. And I found that this could relate back to communication today, and how our idea of communication has changed. With the Greeks, with mimesis, they would communicate by passing down knowledge with wisdom. You had to learn things from a mentor. You couldn't pick up a book and teach yourself. Someone had to teach you. And because of this, you would learn the facts, but you would also learn them from someone who was wiser than you and could give you discernment to go along with it. Today we've lost that because we utilize books on a daily basis and we learn ideas, we learn things that we can do, but we don't think of how to do it properly. You know, we just jump in head first, which is great because it, offers us a chance to be progressive, and it's what gave America its name as a progressive culture. But it's also what means that we make big mistakes, and it doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's pretty bad. So when I was investigating this, I found that there is a way that we can fix this. Today we have social media, which people look at as disruptive and a frivolous thing, actually. It's the thing where you wake up and you post, I had breakfast and I ate waffles. you don't post your deep thoughts or information that should be shared necessarily. But it can be used that way, and some people do use it that way. I myself, I don't learn just from Dr. Grant in the lectures. I learn from him because he gives different blog posts, different articles which he links to on his Facebook or Twitter. And through this, I learn more information which I never would before, but I learn it from his perspective. He'll give an analysis of something he's read or post his thoughts on it. And this is a passing down of that discernment or wisdom, which was the way the Greeks learned. And by incorporating this and going after people that we admire and finding their public profiles, who are the more famous people, then you can be mentored by them, even though you might never meet them. It's the same idea where the Greeks would travel hundreds of miles to go and learn and study under the masters of philosophy and art. They would learn under men like Socrates and Plato, and they would have to travel to do it. With us, it's just a click of a button away. But we don't even bother to utilize that. And so in my magazine, I wrote an article talking about this and what we can do to fix it. And it's simple. It's easy. We just have to choose to make that extra effort. Mrs. Buckingham does it too. We joke about it in class that she kind of stalks one of these artists. Mikado Fujimura is an Asian artist that she loves, and she reads a lot of his work and follows his art. And I'm pretty sure that she found out about his work first and didn't really know Mikado. Is that correct? But from there, she has formed a personal relationship with Mikado, and he's coming to Charlotte in the next month, and she'll be meeting with him then. And that's part of mentorship. She was first mentored by his work online, and then from there she built a personal relationship, which has not only mentored her, but because of what she has shared with class regarding Mikado, we too, as students, have been mentored by him. And some of us have jumped out and gone directly to the social media to be mentored by him ourselves. So I wrote an article talking about that, and then from there I realized that there must be a way to change the format of magazines to incorporate this and to mentor people through a publication in a deeper way than we do today. And I kind of regret that I didn't have time to research that more and perhaps put my own magazine into that kind of platform, but it's something that I expect to